Hi, Timmy.
You having a nice laugh, are you?
I mean, it's Christmas. It's Christmas morning.
Hey!
I love the way it makes me feel inside.
What's up, everyone? Adam from FWCI. This is Brewstew Bad Landlord, Marvin the POS. And is he going to be worse than Mark and his pillhead brother? We're going to have to wait and see. I'm guessing it probably is. You don't bury the lead. You don't start with the worst one. You lead up to the worst one. Marvin, what the hell did you put these guys through? Now, if you want early access to my videos, or if you just want to support the channel a bit further, go check out patreon.com/FWCI, and of course, patreon.com/Brewstew if you want to support the man himself. Last landlord was, what did he do? He didn't pay the water bill. His brother pawned a bunch of WWF action figures, which I'm still not okay with. By the way, I just got the NWO. I'm very, very happy. Overall, Mark was a pretty atrocious landlord, but this video goes even longer, so I'm sure Marvin had a lot more to say. And this is the latest Brewstew video, so I got my notifications. I know it's coming out, but shout out to Riverhawk Davis DF2IU for making sure that I didn't miss out on the latest Brewstew video. So let's jump into it. This is Brewstew Bad Landlord 2, Marvin the POS.
All right, Bad Landlord, Part 2. Marvin, the POS Landlord. Now, if you haven't seen my first cartoon on what it's like living with a slumlord, well, let's do a quick recap. Me and my friend Brewer lived in a duplex owned by Mark the landlord, not a very nice person, and he was known for constantly showing up unannounced for Gestapo inspections and letting his pillhead brother steal all my childhood toys out of the basement. And oh yeah, of course, he shut our water off, which forced us to use Mountain Dew to flush our poop down the toilet. All right, what a nice recap. Well, after dealing with all that, me and Brewer decided it was time to move on to greener pastures. And by greener pastures, of course, I mean moving to an even shittier house with an even shittier landlord. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Now, Brewer was the one that found this new place on good old Craigslist.com. Remember that website?
God,
yeah,
no.
back then it wasn't just used for buying hookers and methamphetamine. I mean, it was mostly used for that, but you could also find houses to rent as well. So we make an appointment to check out a house that's in our price range.
We don't have a, well, we probably do. It's probably just called something else. But how dodgy is Craigslist? Like, let me know in the comments. Have you ever put something on Craigslist or bought something from Craigslist? What was your experience? I hear about it all the time. And when I'm watching the TV show Nathan For You, he's always getting people from Craigslist to participate in his crazy bullshit. So I don't really know what the hell to make of it.
And that is where we first meet
Marvin, the piece of shit landlord.
Now, of course,
Whoa.
we didn't know he was a piece of shit when we first met him, but he sure as hell wasted no time lying right to our fucking faces, let me tell you. Hi, I'm Marvin the landlord from Pisshole Rental Properties. How you guys doing? Good, Marvin the landlord. Nice to meet you. You're not like one of those piece of shit landlords, are you? Oh, no, of course not. Me? No, I'm one of the good landlords. I tell you what, you boys couldn't have picked a nicer area. It makes Mr. Rogers' neighborhood look like a fucking crack den, I tell you what. Look, right over there, there's, old Mrs. McGillicuddy. Hello, Mrs. McGillicuddy. Lovely day we're having. I don't know who you are. She's got dementia, what can I say? Anyways, you guys want to go inside?
all
So
right.
we gotta look at this house, and you know, it's a piece of shit, but that's all right, because Brewer and I are used to living in pieces of shit. It's our natural habitat, after all. The only real problem that we had with the place was the backyard, because, well, there's a shit ton of garbage back there left behind from the last tenant.
What?
According to good old Marvin the landlord, all of that would be cleaned up by the time we moved in.
Yeah,
So,
whatever.
taking
Oh my god. Wow, he's really, really deceptive. This is fucked.
The landlord's word at face value, we agree to rent out the place. All right, looks like we got a deal. I just need you guys to sign this 2-year lease agreement, give me your first and last month's rent, a security deposit, your social security numbers.
What's with the knife there, Marvin? 2-year lease? Why would anybody sign that?
And if you could slice your hands open and make a blood pact not to fuck up the property, I can get you guys the keys by next week. So the following week, me and Brewer start moving all our stuff in, and we can't help but notice that the neighborhood seems a hell of a lot shittier than it did on our first visit. All of a sudden, there's like broken windows everywhere. There's like an active crime scene. Old Mrs. McGillicuddy's lying dead in the street and shit. There's a meth head standing there holding a machete and a Newport. The fuck you looking at, Four Eyes? Nothing? Oh, God.
Run, Brewer, run!
Yeah, I don't know what kind of David Copperfield shit Marvin the Landlord pulled off, but presto abracadabra, suddenly the neighborhood is a complete shithole. But hey, guess what? We signed a 2-year lease. Looks like it's home.
Is that maybe just like the optimism and desperation of like looking for a new place? You overlook certain things. That one might be on you. I don't know how Marvin the Landlord changed the entire neighborhood, but yeah, that would suck when you move in somewhere and you're like, hang on a fucking second, I didn't notice all of this stuff.
Home sweet home for the time being. I thought Marvin the Landlord said this was a happy place. Yep, I thought so too. I don't think he's one of the good landlords, is he? No, Brewer, I don't think there's such a thing. Well, imagine my surprise when a few days later, I'm leaving the house to go to work, and I see that my car has a slashed front tire, and the words, bitch, ho, are spray painted on the side.
What the fuck?
Oh, what have they done to my sweet, sweet Chevy Cavalier? But then I look a little farther down the road, and I see that there's another white car, very similar looking to mine, with all of its tires slashed, and many, many more bitch hoes
they
spray
did the
painted
wrong
on the
one.
side of it. Now, I'm no Columbo, but I'm guessing what had happened was, late last night, some piece of shit wanted to get revenge on his ex-girlfriend, but he was so drunk, he didn't realize he was vandalizing the wrong car until he was fucking halfway through. Fuck, wait a minute, this isn't a Dodge Neon. Whoops. So I decided to go ahead and give Marvin the Landlord a call because, well, he straight up lied about how great this neighborhood was. Hello, pisshole rental properties. Marvin the Landlord speaking.
Oh, I don't know if you can do that though. Like, he's got no control over these crazy assholes, and what kind of guarantee is it's a good neighborhood? You never know.
He straight up lied about how great this neighborhood was. Hello, pisshole rental properties. Marvin the Landlord speaking. Yeah, hi.
money.
Just letting you know my car just got fucked 6 ways to Sunday out in the street. Oh, really? Sorry to hear about that. But, what's that got to do with me? Because you said this place made Mr. Rogers' neighborhood look like a fucking crack den, that's what. I did? Well, that's weird. I've never even seen Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Oh well, sorry to hear that. Bye-bye. And just like that, in so many words, Marvin the Landlord told me I could go fuck myself, and it was none of his business. Well, needless to say, I had a real rootin' tootin' time that.
I kind of agree with Marvin the Landlord. It depends to what degree did he, like, lie in the very first instant, but I don't know, he's gonna have to get a lot more piece of shittier than that, because that just feels like you moved into a shit neighborhood.
That day, driving to work on a donut with my bitch homobile. Dude, what the hell happened to your car? Shut up, Debbie. I'm a part-time NASCAR driver. Sponsored by Bitch Ho Enterprises. Fuck off. Leave me alone. Now, lying about the neighborhood being a shithole is one thing, but another thing that Marvin the Landlord seemed to gloss over was the fact that the house was completely infested with rats. Now, why was it infested with rats, you ask? Well, I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with the fucking mountain of garbage out back that was never taken care of. Now, you might have seen an old cartoon that I did 4,000 years ago
really?
about me fighting a bunch of rats over control of our household. But if you haven't, these rats were our own personal shitty deadbeat roommates. They'd eat all our food in the kitchen. They'd use our fucking Netflix account without asking. We'd be trying to sleep at night. All of a sudden, a rat's trying to
Watch a Ratatouille?
auto loan for a used Honda Accord. Come on, man, my debt-to-income ratio's fucked. Just sign the bottom line. It's a good deal. Well, you can bet your ass that I called up Marvin the Landlord to let him know about our little shitty rat situation. Hello, pisshole rental properties. Marvin the piece of shit, or Marvin the Landlord speaking. Hey, Marvin the Landlord, guess what? We got a bunch of rats in this bitch. What? You got rats? Are you sure? Yeah, Marvin, I'm pretty fucking sure. Man, well, that's weird. I've never even seen rats there before. Oh well, sorry to hear that. Bye-bye. Hey, wait a minute, goddammit. Could you, like, I don't know, maybe send out an exterminator? An exterminator? You mean, like, one that costs money? Yes, Marvin, it's pretty fucking bad over here.
God, that's rough.
Well, eventually, Marvin the Landlord agrees to get somebody to come out to our house and deal with this goddamn rat situation. Well, imagine my surprise when a few days later, the doorbell rings. I go and open the door, and guess who's there? Not a fucking
Marvin,
exterminator,
isn't it?
I can tell you that. Instead, there's 2 rat traps left behind on the ground with a little post-it note attached to them. Good luck. Go get him, Tiger. Marvin the Landlord.
Wow.
Oh, okay, cool. I guess we're the fucking exterminators then. That's neat. So after getting next to no help.
And the thing is, look at him, smug, sitting there with his hands behind his head. The thing is, he knows that they have no options. It's not like you can just up and leave a house and go move into another house. I mean, I guess you can, but you have to, like, source another house and come up with a bond and all that kind of stuff. So landlords know that you're kind of stuck there no matter what's going on. Marvin, you're a piece of shit.
Help from Marvin the Landlord. Me and Brewer had no choice but to fight these rats all on our own. Oh shit, we need an airstrike now! Bombs, napalm, fucking Agent Orange, who gives a shit? We need help! Again, if you want more details, go check out my old rat hunting video. Or don't, I'm not your dad. I can't tell you what to do. Just know that eventually, me and Brewer had to violate the Geneva Convention and use chemical warfare to poison all those fucking rats. Well, after dealing with that whole situation, me and Brewer were not trying to live in that house any longer. I mean, it's probably only a matter of time before that meth head out in the street breaks in and has his way with us. Ah! Do you guys want to buy some food stamps from me? Well, lucky for us, Brewer runs into a guy at work that has a rental property of his own, and he said that we could move in as soon as possible. So when Brewer comes home and tells me this, I'm like, hell yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. So I call up Marvin the landlord, and I'm like, hey Marvin, guess what? We're moving out next week. You can suck it.
We're on a 2-year lease, aren't we? Yeah, you know what? With all the garbage that Marvin has failed to remove from the property and the garbage that he's put these guys through, I would run the risk on what happens if I just broke that lease. In Australia anyway, that's how it would kind of work, is if you've got a real good reason and you've got documentation of it and stuff like that, and your landlord is like just in complete obvious breach of the agreement, I would run that risk, but I also am the kind of person that could go to a small claims court with all my evidence in order and say, here is why we moved out of this POS house into a smaller, less shittier house.
Whoa, 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 what are you talking about? You guys signed a 2-year lease agreement, buddy. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, well, we're fucking breaking it. How about that? We done dealt with rats and meth heads, and somebody slut-shamed my Chevy Cavalier. We're done. We're getting out of here. Well, this little conversation quickly escalates into a screaming match over the phone. Marvin says something along the lines of us being pieces of shit, and he should take us to court, and I say something along the lines of him being a slumlord piece of shit, and he should go die in the street. Something along those lines. Well, eventually, Marvin gives in, and he's like, you know what? Fine. To hell with you guys. You got a week to get all your crap out of my house. Goodbye. Fucking kids these days. Can't even deal with a meth head or a few dozen rats. Unbelievable. So after breaking our lease, Brewer calls up the guy from his work to let him know that we're good to go. Hi, it's me, Brewer.
No.
You know, the guy from Circle K? No, the other guy. You know, the guy that you think is weird, but you look past it because I gave you free Polar Pops? Yeah, that's right. Hey, I'm just letting you know that we're ready to move in. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, I see. Okay then, bye-bye. He said he already rented that place out to somebody else.
What?
What are you talking about? Brewer, I just broke our lease and called Marvin a slumlord piece of shit. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that. Well, we are now in quite the pickle. And it's becoming apparent that we have one of two choices to make. We can either A, live out on the street and start smoking crack, or we can B, call up Marvin the landlord and apologize for, calling him a slumlord piece of shit. Well, at first, I was like, fuck it. We can live out in the street. I can learn how to smoke crack. It can't be that hard. But then I was like, no, I can't do that. I was a Cub Scout, for Christ's sake. I took an oath not to smoke crack. So once again...
Wow, that's quite a Cub Scout lesson.
I am not going to apologize. Hey, Marvin the landlord, it's me again. Guess what? We're gonna do you a favor, we're gonna stay here, and we're not gonna break the lease.
Way to reframe
What? Are
it.
you serious? You're gonna keep giving me money, even though I'm a complete and utter piece of shit? Yep, that's right, and it has nothing to do with us not having another place to live. You're welcome, fuck off, thanks for nothing. So in the end, I guess Marvin the landlord won the battle because we ended up staying in that shithole house. But you bet your ass, as soon as that lease was up, we got the hell out of there and moved on to greener pastures.
They stayed there for 2 whole years? Damn.
And by greener pastures, I mean a halfway decent house with, believe it or not, a halfway decent landlord. Wow, look at that, we found one. But if you want to hear that story, well, you're just gonna have to wait till, never, because there really isn't much of a story to tell. I mean, there's no rats or meth heads out in the street. It wasn't fucking haunted. We didn't get a utility shut off. What can I say? Life's not always a goddamn M. Night Shyamalan movie, all right?
Halfway decent landlord featuring competent management and no petty theft. Look at this guy. I love the eyebrows that he's animated on there. The guy's like, I don't know why I'm here.
So here's to you, Mark and Marvin, the pieces of shit landlords. If you're out there to this day still ripping people off, well, I hope your next eviction is a fucking nightmare, and I hope a sick cat pisses all over your carpets. The end.
As do I. Well done. You know, when I think back to the beginning of this particular episode, Marvin was, he oversold the neighborhood quite a bit. I can understand if somebody, I mean, they're not going to tell you, by the way, there's crackheads here, by the way, there's crime here, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think a landlord is going to tell you that. I I don't think they're obliged to tell you that. I think that's on the person moving in. But with that being said, it's these two young dudes just taking a house. But I lived in a very shitty apartment right next to a park that was notorious for all sorts of assaults. And I knew living there that I was in dangerous territory. So, you know, I didn't go walking after dark. I locked my doors at night. And I did my best to discourage my friends making conversation with the two bikey junkies that lived down the end. Maybe they weren't junkies, but they had all of the symptoms of junkies. But the garbage situation in this video is absolutely dreadful to put somebody through. Imagine that, like, and the thing is, it's so blatantly obvious that this guy knows that he is in no rush to do anything for these tenants. And I guess it's hard to sort of capture that apathetic attitude in a video like this where it's a very loud and sort of, you know, a lot of dialogue kind of thing. But I definitely got vibes from Marvin in the second and third part of this video. Can't believe he rang him up and abused him and told him he's breaking the lease and then had to ring him back humble as hell and be like, please don't kick us out. Great reframing there from Tyler. He rang back up and he's like, look man, look, we'll do you a favor. We will stay and continue to pay you as originally agreed. Let's just move past it. Very good way to avoid, first of all, well, I guess you've already signed a 2-year lease. It's not like he can raise your rent. So yeah, I wouldn't even say that that was a win, getting to stay in that terrible apartment. But thankfully for Tyler, everything worked out and now he's married and he lives in a nice house that's just got some possums and shit outside, I think. But let me know in the comments what you thought about this one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Patreon.com/FWCI if you want to support my channel. Patreon.com/Brewstew if you want to support the man himself. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends, ta-ta, and farewell.